Hi, my name is Jude and I work at Sacred Endeavors, and this is a new store in Northampton on 14 Strong Ave. It's owned by Denise Pelletier, and we're going to be talking about scrying and divination today through the pendulum. And at first I wanted to introduce the Ouija board, which is a bad idea to use. The Ouija board is opening a portal to the spirit world, and not only white light entities can come through, and by white light entities I mean spirits that you would like to talk to that are on the other side, like deceased loved ones. It opens up a portal that anything can come through, which is a bad alternative, and that's why the pendulum was used as an alternative to the Ouija board, because you can actually make your own Ouija board, and it's called a spirit talking board. You would make that with the letters spread out just like a regular Ouija board, and instead of using the Ouija pointer, you would use your pendulum and it would swing to the letters of the Ouija board. This pendulum here is the producers of the show. It's what looks like a pewter cross with a mystic quartz on the front here. There's a little tiny mystic quartz, which is the same as this mystic quartz here that my friend made in California. So it's a very good piece. And then it has another mystic quartz point here, and my hand is not moving it. It's the energy that's contained within the receptive hand going down the chain. The receptive hand shoots the energy down the chain, which is why you always need to have contact with the chain. This chain is kind of actually bulky, so I want to go to one of these here. This is a really good one. The receptive energy goes down the chain, and then it goes to the point of the crystal, which is why whenever you're using a pendulum, you always want to have a point on the end. Broken points are fine, but it does have to have a faceted, focused point. Or this one right here, see, it's not faceted, but it's pointed. You want a point on the end because it points and directs the energy to the answer, and it's more fluent than you need. With a flat stone, it wouldn't work. See, and then you say, what is your yes? This one's really responsive because it's heavier, and the heavier that the pendulum is, the more responsive it will be. And then what is your no? And it's a line again. And now you would ask it again. You would ask it a series of base questions. Now it will take a little bit of time for you to get used to your pendulum. And some pendulums, when you first use them, see, I have the variety here. When you go to switch pendulums, the tip of it will twitch, like this one is right now. That means that it's responsive and that it will be working. And then, what is your yes? And it goes into a counterclockwise circle. And what is your no? And it goes into a line. Now, for different people, the yes and no is going to be different. It won't always be a counterclockwise circle, and it won't always be a line for no. It will be different depending on the person, and that's proven because with this pendulum here, which is the producers, with this one here, and with this one here, the three that I just used, it was all the same for me, but that's me. That's my yes is a counterclockwise circle, and my no is either a horizontal or vertical line. That's because it's the extension of my energy. It is not the pendulum that's going to give you the yes or no. This is a good book right here if you want to get into the scrying side of it. Pendulums are actually not divination. Pendulums are a scrying method. Divination would be the cards, which are up here. Cards and fortune telling, that's a divination method. That's a method that does not use your personal energy. It's a method where the cards will tell you. You ask the pendulum what is your yes and what is your no, because you're actually asking your subconscious. Now, another book to use that is really good that I got online again is The Great Pendulum book. It's by Petra Sonnenberg. But you can get a book of, these are just charts. The beginning of the book explains how to use the pendulum, how to make your own, and what qualities of the pendulum you're looking for. But there's a grouping of charts. From this page on, the next 200 pages are charts, and this is advanced pendulum work. These next 200 pages are all charts which direct you in how to use the pendulum. There's blank charts at the back, as I can show you here. These charts, you can put anything you want into the endings or into the pies of the chart to get whatever results you want. And this is where you can make a chart with 26 sections and you can put the letters. And that's how you would communicate with the other side with this chart. And then these are just base charts to get you working with the pendulum. And then this chart will tell you which area of the next series of charts to go to. It says, on what topic areas can I work with the pendulum best today? And it's twitching because when it twitches like that, I hope you can see it, that twitching is it deciding which way to go. And then it starts moving. And it's kind of unsure where to go. And now it's going in a completely different area than the other two.
I got a question for you, because I was shooting some video at the TV station, and I discovered that if I use my right hand, the pendulum would go in one direction, and if I use my left hand, it goes in the opposite direction. And you said that you were talking about a predominant hand. I can't really figure that out, why that was doing that.
If you are left-handed, you would use your left hand to hold the pendulum like this.
Okay.
And then you would use your right hand. Because if you are left-handed, your receptive hand is your left hand, and your giving hand, the word escapes me right now, but the giving hand, where the energy flows in, would be your left hand, and the out would be the right hand. If you are right-handed, you would use the right hand. So if you are left-handed, you would use it in this manner rather than this way. And that again, if you wanted to try that, I could try it.
Because
what is my yes?
It works different when you're going a different hand.
Yep, it's going clockwise instead of counterclockwise for me. And my no. Yep, but the no is the same. But for me, my no is horizontal, so it wouldn't change. But you are right, it did go clockwise.
It's kind of strange.
Yeah, that I'm not quite sure, because I don't extensively use the pendulum. I do know a lot about them because when I use the pendulum, the way I use the pendulums is in paranormal investigation in haunted houses. That's what I use my pendulums for, and that's why I have a very different stones, because the different stones hold different properties and they attract different things and paranormal energies. That's why I use them. You communicate with the ghosts in the investigation through the pendulum, and that's again why this one right here that I used this in North Adams at the Houghton Mansion when the TAPS crew went there in March, and there were too many people there for me to sit quietly and use it, because that's what you really have to do. It's not a meditative thing, but you would just sit quietly and use it. But that's how I use the pendulums in communication. I don't use them, but you can use them to answer a yes or no question. And when you're doing that, it doesn't really matter what hand you use, because you will get the yes or no through the pendulum itself, which is technically through your subconscious, and that's a no is the line. Is my car green? And it goes into the counterclockwise. And now if I switch, is my car green? And it goes into the clockwise. That's just, it's an energy flow thing. It goes in and out the other way, so I assume that's what it is, because if you are switching hands and switching directions, it's just an energy flow thing. It's not anything too substantial. It's not going to change the answer to anything. You just, if you want it to test it out, you can use either hand, and then you have to ask the guiding questions again. What is your yes and what is your no? And you will find that it does switch direction.